this is going to be Pofke versus DOWSEY.
Yeah, this is, as far as I understand, a pretty classic matchup. They've been in the same division, I think, last season, right? In the SCL, and once again in this season.
Yeah, DOWSEY and Pofke both in silver with you, Screw Loose, and silver is the highest division that still plays everybody just once. So they only met once last season, and DOWSEY beat Pofke pretty handily, 7-3 way back in week 2, and also beat them a much closer match, 7-5 in the 2018 Summer Cup Finals or semifinals, I think it was, something like that. So has DOWSEY generally has historically gotten the better of Pofke, safe to say.
All right, and anyway, let's go with picks and bans here. DOWSEY goes with camera controls just so that someone can ban redwoods, and Pofke goes with Sky in the Eye. DOWSEY chooses to ban balcony.
All right.
And then, surprise, surprise, Pofke bans redwoods.
I like redwoods. Why does no one want to play it?
It's scary. It's hard to see things, I think is what it is. Yeah. So Pofke, by the way, also perfect, like Rio, 4-0 on the group stages, and obviously since then. DOWSEY, on the other hand, I think tied Minty Rug, but has otherwise won completely. So obviously, no surprise that all the people who are here have basically just lost once or tied once at worst. But Pofke, the other perfect competitor so far, trying to keep that going against DOWSEY, who again has historically beaten them pretty often. But we're going to start on pub. It's going to be 3 of 6 with Inspect turnoff as Pofke as the spy, playing green dress. Are you gentlemen?
I am ready. And let me swap this around. All right, I am 100% ready.
100% ready. It was 98% the first time.
Yeah, it was.
Enough. Let's hope it's the only 98% we have to talk about during this set. Pofke as spy, pub, green dress, 3, 2, 1, playing it. The winner of this will play Rio, we now know, in the Winter Cup Finals. And we are going, stop me if you've heard this one, we're going to flirt with our seduction target. It's going to be a white test, 31%. We are in conversation with the real double agent too, but I would say that there normally is an early statue visitor, so you don't want to do it, but inspects are turned off. Inspects are turned off with 2 early statue visitors. You wonder if Pofke, if they'd known that, if they would have chosen this particular mission setup. Too late now, though. Swap is on pub. Never thought I'd say that, but here we are.
Inspect is forced off on this, right?
That I'm not sure about. You might be right.
Yeah, it is.
I hope so. I hope so. Because if it's not, it's an absolutely ridiculous decision.
Yeah, it's a 3-6. The spy has no choice in the mission layout. Inspect is forced off.
You know, I apologize, but we haven't really casted pub. I don't think anyone's really gone for this since we've gotten to this version of the bracket stage. No one's really been all that interested in playing Inspectless Pub, although they better get ready because I hear rumors it might end up in similar competitive scenarios. We're going to enter in with our seduction target a 3rd time here. Let's see, white test, 65%. Seek has not moved, but we've moved quite a bit, and we have a little over half a mission to show for it. We are in conversation with the real double agent, and only one person out of conversation. No, there's 2 now, and this BB is getting worse by the second, but Pofke doesn't show a lot of interest in taking it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if we see any flirt pairing on this version of pub, as I feel like it's going to be fairly valuable.
Yeah, I think so, and I think valuable and necessary with Inspect turned off. As you alluded to earlier. We're going to try to timer flirt here and finish up with Seek and probably just watch the party, keep an eye on fingerprints and the like, but so far, doesn't seem like a very good party to have Inspects turned off. There is the last flirt. Oh no! We're not saying 98, we are saying 99. That first flirt was not next to our seduction target, and we're paying for it now. It's a white test, 99%. I don't know if it's going to matter, though, because it doesn't look like we have too many prospects for victory anyway. We walk right by that briefcase, but we can because the ambassador's nearby, and we're near them now, staring out the same window. Ambassador leaves, flirt cooldown, which suddenly is a problem after 3 flirts. We're still worried about that cooldown. We're going to check our watch, kill a little time without adding any. And there's not a whole lot of room in this conversation. The double agent leaves, opens up a spot to finish this infernal flirt. Believe it or not, anywhere in this conversation will do. We only need 1%. It's almost academic, but to the spy, it's very, very important. We are respectfully waiting to flirt. I don't know if we have time to be respectful anymore. That's 6 or 7 seconds we're never going to get back. We're going to seduce and leave immediately. We're being very selectively respectful now. We're going to enter a conversation with the double agent, and we've got to get this done. It's a white test. Very, very few green tests so far this game for Pofke, and it is hurting them because we have 37 seconds left, 2 missions done, but they are the 2 easiest ones, and the only other easy one is not on the docket. It's going to have to be Purloin, Fingerprint, Swap, or Bug. and some of those are really not viable right now. No one has sent us to bar. We're gonna have to rush a bug, maybe a purloin. Here it
And I
comes.
was worried about being credited for the bug earlier when Pofke went to Amba at the window, but I believe if so, he would have already been shot. Goes for the walking bug at the end, out of time, and DOWSEY's on top of it.
Yeah, we're gonna make a beeline for the ambassador, and the bullet's gonna make a beeline for us, and just like that, all over it. DOWSEY 1-0 in a difficult game for Pofke, where I don't think they hit. I'm not sure if they hit any action tests, but all of them would have made a huge difference there at the end. Doesn't matter. DOWSEY now playing Leopard, already up 1-0 on pub. 3, 2, 1, playing it. We are coming up on the ambassador. Is going to be a quick bug attempt. It is.
Bug.
And it's completely behind the pillar, but we get a highlight. Pofke at the very least knows that could have been a bug, whether I could see it or not. Might have caught the end of the animation or the beginning, hard to say. There was a lot of obstruction, but great awareness from Pofke, because if they did get any kind of look at that bug, it couldn't have been a good one.
Yeah, and you see, I think he sees Rocker do the 360 there too, which maybe gave him some reason for the highlight. But I think if you're DOWSEY, you take that. You get your flirt done, you throw a BB in the last 30 seconds, which is going to mean that a lot of AIs probably also are getting 3 missions done at that point, and then you just have Pofke take the hard shot.
I think you're right. The 360, probably the biggest giveaway, but still, what a strong, early, important, confident highlight from Pofke. We're just going to try to timer flirt now here. It looks like we already have one flirt done. It's a white test, 34%. We're going to wait around. DOWSEY, what's going to be interesting is DOWSEY going to behave as if they got away with the bug or not? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You get the bug? Okay, it took. Good. You know it was at least somewhat obscured. You're not dead yet, so they can't be sure, but they might be pretty close to sure. So the question is, do you act like you got away with it or not? Either way, we don't know yet, because the timer flirt is what you would probably do either way at this point. It's what they might do afterwards that'll tell us what they think. There's another flirt. It's another white test. We're up to 68%, so another close one's going to do, and our seduction target hasn't moved yet.
And it looks like Pofke's using highlights just for suspicion, no mission tracking, which is surprising on these smaller venues. Sometimes, I guess there is less to remember, but sometimes it's pretty easy to also remember your suspects, so you can use it for tracking bar timing or maybe fingerprints, or one of the harder ones to memorize.
Yeah, good reasons either way, but I think you're right there. The smaller venues are the one place where you can very reliably remember stuff, especially with Inspect turned off, because that's one less thing to remember. You're pretty much just tracking bar and fingerprint, and sometimes there just aren't that many of either. DOWSEY waiting for this flirt timer to go all the way down so we can finish. The double agent has joined our conversation. We can just get this done right here. There's the flirt. It's a green we didn't need. And are we going to try to BB right after this and force the shot with 80 seconds left? That will tell you something about how suspicious they think they are for the bug. They have to be at least debating it in their head. They haven't moved. They bugged, entered conversation, haven't moved. There's the BB. Pofke looking around, takes a low light. They got a few more seconds to make up their mind. Hold, and shoot. Pretty confident about that bug. I think DOWSEY played that just fine. There was just no getting by Pofke after they saw that 360.
I think he should have waited, like I was saying earlier, a bit more time to give AIs time to complete more missions. I mean, it was a good BB. He did it right after he was done with his flirt. A green BB right after you're done talking is a little bit less suspicious because you're seen having talked already. So it was a good action test and good timing, but maybe waiting a little bit longer could have given him a better chance to take that.
Yeah, and you got to imagine during those 2 minutes between the bug and the shot, if DOWSEY's just sitting there trying to puzzle it out, what kind of suspect am I? Am I about to win, or are they just waiting for an excuse? They take the chance. Pofke takes the shot, and we are tied 1-1 heading into high rise. It's going to be white dress. Pofke is spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We see Purloin swap and microfilm off.
Yep, pretty standard. Yeah, pretty standard indeed. Pretty much the only thing you're going to consider taking off here would be fingerprint and replacing it, usually with Purloin.
Can we bug through this divider here?
Well, spies are 0 for 1 on crazy tech already today. I would love to see it, though.
0 for 2 if you count the...
Oh yeah, the BB
Count
entry.
the BB.
Yeah, with the briefcase. Let's count that. Let's say 0 for 2. Pofke not going to tempt fate. We're just gonna look at our watch, and then we're gonna look at the skyline, and we are doing everything but missions here. What's it gonna be next? Amba as at green bookshelves. We're gonna take a weird little. I don't know about that path. Kind of a bit of an angle there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to be noticed.
I think he's waiting for a fingerprint.
I think you're right. We're going to walk right by the Amba and not bug very confidently. You can trust someone like DOWSEY not to mistake it when it doesn't happen. We are going to pick up this briefcase weirdly close to Amba, but it's pretty borderline, I think. We are going to get the fingerprint off it, though, and the Amba has now left another fingerprint at a far statue. Pofke's going to go to a different statue instead. Is it going to be center? It is.
I don't like this. Fingerprint into middle statue.
Yep.
He's going to gain a lot of suspicion off that.
Wait a second. Wait a second. One cycle, all 3 inspects, and that's going to produce a low light from DOWSEY for exactly that reason. They recognize it's one cycle, all 3 inspects. Pofke is low lit and already going for a soft tail game. But if there is a kind of venue where someone could be brought back up from a low light, it is one of these soft tail variants like this.
Yeah, great move by Pofke. You have to land all 3 action tests, right, to get a 1 cycle triple inspect.
I think there are a couple of edge cases with the slower inspect characters, of which white dress might be one. I think I might have seen 1 white in there, but I'm not sure. Regardless, that's probably a pretty high percentage play from DOWSEY, but it's still a risky one. In a venue where we really don't need that many lowlights, we're going to pick up the briefcase again here. It's another fingerprint. Inspect's done, fingerprint's done, and DOWSEY's camera sure suggests that they're looking at someone even though they're low lit, because how could you not notice that second fingerprint? You know the statue visit's there, even though it's going to be hard to credit those inspects. There are no flirts done. Are we just going to try to BB for the win here? It would be a tough shot to take, but it is plausible from someone like DOWSEY on a venue like High Rise. Here comes the BB. It's a white test. Look at the sniper side. Low lights are taken. Doesn't seem that interested in taking a shot. Brings it back up. Flashing on Pofke. 3, 2, 1. Moment of truth. Does not take the shot. Could not quite go from low light to shot just like that. Wow. Almost brought it back.
Yeah, and I feel like watching that round that DOWSEY was doing a lot of fake lights, something that you'll see some snipers do where you're mousing over characters if they're the spy to try and make them think that you're either adjusting their light or suspicious of them or what have you. And I felt like he was doing a couple fake lights throughout that set there. So something to watch for moving on.
That's the kind of gamesmanship that's going to come up a lot on those Softail variants for sure. And it was all Softails from Pofke, not a single flirt amongst them. And given how close they came to getting shot, even as a low light a moment before, seems pretty obvious that if they had not one-cycled those statues, they would have been dead. Instead, it's a huge spy win for Pofke on High Rise. DOWSEY now down 2-1, playing his green dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Wow, what a move from Pofke there at those statues.
Yeah, that's a huge deal to take a spy win against DOWSEY on High Rise to take the lead early on.
Yeah, I would say one of his better venues. Fingerprint turned off, by the way, Purloin back on. That's pretty much the trade you're looking at. Anything else is, again, too clever by half, as we like to say. We are in a conversation here, waiting for our seduction target. That's been happening a lot, but we have plenty of time for it. Want to see how DOWSEY plays this. He can be very creative, but usually ends up bugging on high-rise games if he gets a good opportunity, if an opportunity presents itself. ST does present us with an opportunity, comes in right next to us after that window visit, and DOWSEY makes the most of it with a green test as green dress, 51% just like that. That'll work. When the seduction target is not to be flirted with in the beginning, they make up for lost time. Finish our drink, hands are free for that bug I mentioned, but we're not in a good position for it right now. It's a sparse conversation, no occlusion behind us. Oh, 2 more people enter just as I say that, and the waiter offers a drink. We're going to reject rather quickly. Our ST is alone in another conversation. DOWSEY doesn't look like they want to chase, and I don't think they have to because the ST comes right back in. Not next to us this time, but another green test will get us to 94%, and we haven't had to move for either one. Not bad, and this conversation is now full.
Mind controlled the ST right back to us.
Yep, it's a skill you learn after a few years of competitive play. We are highlit now, possibly just for being next to the Amba? I don't know. Yeah, there's a bug attempt. Pofke's all over it.
A little bit of deja vu on that bug and that catch there.
Yeah, very similar to that Duke bug that Opie caught against Rio. It's kind of the same angle, isn't it? And it's a very hard one to catch. This time the BB came after the bug instead of before, so I don't know. Can bug cover for BB screw loose? I'm not a very good sniper. Tell me if that sounds right to you. I'm not really sure about that, but it's a really big win now for Pofke, who sweeps High Rise, certainly. Probably the kind of bug you'd think better of if you had a little more time to think of it, but bug decisions have to be made in the moment very often, and they're not always the right decisions as a result. Either way, Pofke up 3-1. Now going to be playing as Walt on Courtyard. Hey, we get some Courtyard games whenever you guys are ready. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Immediate take from Pofke. Yep.
Standard Courtyard. We have seen some of the venues have little bits of adjustments like Pub and Modern. A lot of people have been arguing for adjustments to Courtyard. I think actually early on were we doing 3-5 Courtyard?
It was 3 of 5 in the
group
stages.
And then back to 4-7. Okay.
Yeah, massive adjustments, as a matter of fact. I would say Courtyard could use a little tweaking, but probably not that much. I'd rather play Standard Courtyard than 3-5. Seduction is canceled. ST walks away. That is General stubbornly goose-stepping away from the conversation. We have nothing done. There's 2 minutes and 30 left on the clock. The amba's to our left, but we have a drink in that hand. There's really nothing to do right here.
Yeah, the standard meta on Courtyard, for those unaware, is you're typically getting Contact, Seduce, Inspect, and your fourth mission is usually going to be Bug or Fingerprint, and the sniper knows that. With the high viewing angle, Purloin is most often out of the question.
I think this is a perfect BB, and because of that, DOWSEY says, no, 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 I need to get something out of this. I'm going to low-light some people here. I'm going to make some assumptions about real and fake, and none of them are the spies so far, so that's pretty helpful. Pofke is still in that suspect pool, and we have 5 lowlights now as opposed to the 0 we were looking at before if we treated the BB literally and straightforwardly. Pofke has changed conversation since. Still
And he
doesn't have
left.
a...
Sorry, he left that conversation with arms crossed. It was pretty obviously on screen. I think DOWSEY was still a little bit distracted for the aftermath of the banana bread, but something that he could have caught.
Well, breaking idle is not a mission, unfortunately, so I don't know if using BB to cover for it is the most optimal use of your time. Pofke rejects a drink. We still don't even have a flirt done. We don't have inspects done, and there's 90 seconds left. There are not too many ways to complete unless we get a mission done very quickly. The Ambo walks by us. We do not take any bug opportunity, and it's probably a good thing because I don't think we would have gotten away with it. But on the other hand, we really can't reach mission win countdown unless we do something quick. There's a quick, I think, redirect from Toby. DOWSEY seems all over it. It is going to be a green Purloin. He redirected as if he were requesting to it, certainly. It was on screen, but it's not clear if DOWSEY noticed. We're going to go right into statues as such a spy move, but was the reject seen? There's another reject. A highlight might take the list. No, another highlight reject. Ponytail is in the reject chain now, too. The inspects are done. A low light takes it. It's White Dress. The fade is seen. Is it going to be Ponytail? Lining up the shot on Ponytail. Sees one of the rejects and not the other. That reject chain was brutal, potentially.
Interesting. We see a Purloin mission utilized that leads to a win for Spy on Courtyard. Atypical.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. And you could see now, I'm not sure if that first reject was seen, but even if it was, you had 2 people afterwards who didn't take, and one of them was a highlight who was in the green reject chain. And by the way, left as the list was taken, which the spy did too, which proves basically that it's a spy move. There was going to be a swap attempted too, by the way. It was going to be mission, boom, boom. Yeah, pending, because no seduction progress had been made, but it's clearly not necessary. Flirt's being credited, and oh boy, that's a big one for Pofke. That's a sniper loss on Courtyard for DOWSEY. So now they're down 4-1, and they'll be down an entire venue set if they win as Spy on Courtyard, which is a tall task against anyone, let alone Pofke. They're going to try as Queen, though. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. This is not the position DOWSEY wants to be in or expected to be in, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a very clutch moment by Pofke to recognize that he's way behind. He's got to try something, and he lands the green action test on the guest list as well as on the swap statue. That's key.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have an early flirt in here, 33%. DOWSEY does not want to end up in the same place Pofke did. It might have worked out for them, but it was not a high percentage situation to be in until that ending. We do not Purloin. Probably just going to timer flirt here. Conversations are pretty full, though. Might even be a decent time for a fake. People are moving around a little bit now, including our seduction target. Let's see if DOWSEY wants to chase or do something else in the meantime. Seduction target is not a window, so we can afford to chase them. But we're not going to. We're just going to wait.
Interesting decision to stay in this conversation and essentially do nothing without the ST there.
Yeah, and we're not gonna Purloin either.
No, I'm surprised he's not taking an innocent drink to then have a reason to leave and go find his ST. Luckily, ST comes right back to us.
There we go. This is why, like you were saying, it's the mind control. They know things we don't. We're sitting here thinking, why on earth? Why aren't they chasing? And they're saying, well, we've got better ways of doing things. Elite spies up and down. DOWSEY gets another flirt in. It's 61%. They're across from us, but they did come back to us too. So if they hadn't been, they would have never been yours. 61%. We're going to need at least a green test close-ish on the next one. Close white will not get it done. And yet, we're still standing across, waiting for a timer flirt, banking on the green. We don't have a single mission left, done rather. 90 seconds on the clock. And we're actually ending up, despite that early flirt, in a very similar position to Pofke, albeit by different means.
Yep.
Cooldown any second now. We are pretty much committed to it. What's the plan? There's the cooldown. We're not going to wait past that at all, though. It is a green, though. That'll save us, potentially. If there's any way to get to mission win countdown, it involved that green right there, if not a time ad. Seduce is done. Just over a minute left.
We have a few different options. Like if the double agent doesn't join this conversation, likely to go to statues and get the inspect completed.
Yeah, you could go inspect, green swap, BB in the commotion. You can get a lot of missions done quick once that flirt's done, at least. That's the thing. But we're running out of time for even that. It's looking like a purloin instead. That's what it's going to be. We're going to request green purloin and bail. It's pretty darn well done. It's the kind of thing where if the sniper's on it, good for them. But if they're not, if they miss anything at all, you're going to get away with it. There's a reject from Kane as well. That's going to help a little bit. Tap's being offered. He's going to take. It's on screen. It's on screen. Pofke sees it, doesn't even hesitate. DOWSEY does not get the win they so desperately need. It is 5-1.
Yeah, I double checked real quick because Toby goes over to offer DOWSEY a drink, and then he rejects, and then Toby comes back fairly soon after, like after one other offer.
Yeah,
and it was on, and it was on. Pofke was watching it real closely the whole time. So
now
that was...
Pofke was shot in that first game, if I'm not mistaken, which means that they have since won 5 in a row against DOWSEY, and I'm pretty sure that's only the second time this has ever happened to DOWSEY competitively. First time being in the Summer Cup Finals to Yeesh, which remains his worst competitive loss to date. So congratulations, Pofke. You're only the second person to win this many competitive games in a row against DOWSEY ever, and you're doing it potentially on your way to the finals now with a commanding lead, playing as, I think it's Bling Twin on Veranda. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Pofke can just snipe their way to victory now. Spy games are a total bonus.
I feel like Veranda is going to play more towards DOWSEY's play style here, especially as sniper.
Yeah, it's going to have to, certainly, but I think you are right. Pofke's walking all around the venue. Going to finish this drink at statues. Probably get some inspects in. Nothing too fancy.
DOWSEY adjusting camera to be able to see that bug. Worried that Pofke would lean over and take a standing bug on the statue pad there.
And you hate to be stared at for a soft tell on Veranda, but that's what happens when the amba's near you. We get our 2 inspects done. Pretty innocuous so far. DOWSEY looking all over the party. This sniper camera is moving around. It is hurried. It is a little frantic even, I would say. And why not? You're down 5-1. You're running out of time.
Now, I wonder, was that highlight on Oprah, was that meant to be on Bling Twin for touching the statue? Because he then highlight Boots for touching the statue.
Yeah, the highlights are a little perplexing here at the moment. Toby's one of them, by the way.
Maybe a misclick.
Yeah, I think it must have been, but it hasn't been corrected yet. There's too much party movement. Party has to usually settle down for those sorts of things to get sorted out. There is a bug attempt, and oh yeah, DOWSEY's still going to catch that. Ill-advised in the moment, as I mentioned, as so many bug attempts are. It's actually a reasonable thing to do. The ambo was bouncing all around, but you could see several seconds pass before they actually take the opportunity. I think if they'd done it as the ambo was entering, it might have worked a little better. But DOWSEY was guarding that really well. The losing streak is over. It's only going to be 5, I'm afraid. Still in a commanding position is Pofke, especially given that they are now behind the rifle. It is 5-2.
He's very close to shooting Tex's hat there.
That would have been a brutal way to go out, to say the least. It's going to be General, another behatted fellow, in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. And you can't say must win because it's not match point yet. But it's the win before must win. Let's put it that way. You're in big trouble if you don't win this as DOWSEY, especially given the Veranda. Yeah, must keep serve.
We get a green purloin in the time of chaos there.
Well, DOWSEY will do this when he's up big or when he's down big. He will go ham. he'll go something to the wall, let's just say. And yeah, we're gonna go get a flirt in at the statues. We're gonna leave. We're gonna try to get a low light for this purloin, I think, and it does not work. We get the other kind of light, the other way. We are a suspect. We did not get any inspects at that early statue visit. We just got the flirt and got the heck out of there. We're gonna green swap. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but this fits what I know of DOWSEY. This is an aggressive spy game when you need a spy win.
Yeah, I don't even think that highlight was for the purloin. It doesn't seem like it was noticed at that point. I could be wrong. I guess Rockers also highlight.
Yeah, it might just be statues. Hard to say. Whatever it is, you could see there are 0 highlights from the purloin, which either means they were totally caught off guard by, or just as likely, they have a pretty good sense of who did it. There's no reason to adjust your lights too much based on it. The swap has gone off. That's going to narrow it way down. It's going to be green. It's going to be the 2 people in green. It's going to be General, and it's going to be green dress. Pofke's not reacting, and I can't imagine they've missed it, which makes me think they've got a pretty short list in their head for who it could have been.
Zooming in over near Amba, though, with neither person available to bug, makes me think that maybe he's not fully onto it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just wondering that, certainly. Could just be hedging their bets. Hard to say. Both characters not capable of getting up to too much trouble. They're going to be near each other now, right next to each other, as a matter of fact. Big blur of green over there with the green bookshelves, no less. But they're both on the same side as the Amba now. Purloin is already gone, so we don't have to worry about that. DOWSEY talking, green dress leaving. 2 inspects are done, by the way, and our flirt is only a third done. We've got 2 minutes left. 2 hard tells done, though. So here's the thing. If you're DOWSEY, if you're not a huge suspect, you can probably cruise to victory. If you are, there are very few ways to finish. It's very binary. And that's going to work. It's going to work. The person who picks up the swap for us, obviously the fade not seen because not expecting a swap at the time, just has it narrowed down. That's going to do it. Wow. The aggression works.
Yeah, bit of luck on DOWSEY's part to get Irish to swap the statue and then go finish inspect at another statue set, but still a lot of key action tests there at the beginning of the game and all throughout. So good spy play by DOWSEY.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good spy play, good aggression, and yeah, a little bit of luck too. That's the way it goes sometimes. Preparation meets opportunity, and that's how you get your spy wins in Spy Party against the best snipers in the game. Pofke now is going to be spying on Aquarium. There you go, Kletos. Get something a little bit fun. It's going to be Wheels. But even after all that, even after sweeping Veranda, DOWSEY is still down 5-3 and needs to sweep Aquarium to bring it back. That's the real problem with that deficit, is that even when you get the wins you really need, you're still down. So still very little margin for DOWSEY. Pofke still needs 2 to win and propel them into the final, playing his wheels in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I feel like when I play Pofke, like in casual or in competitive, we have a lot of fun going for frames, and I feel that Aquarium kind of lends to that. So I'll be interested to see if Pofke goes for any type of frame setup on Aquarium here against DOWSEY.
Yeah, it's a very frameable sort of venue. There are a lot of bar visitors, and that's unfortunate for DOWSEY because he is highlighting for bar. Pofke, in the meantime, is not one of those bar visitors. Instead, he's talking to a green dress. There we go again. Once again, major characters from one game showing up in the next in prominent roles. Pofke gets a green flirt, though, to start. We're just talking because it's our turn now, but it looks like you're going to try to timer flirt and see if they can get those 2 flirt done. When you can turf flirt on Aquarium, it opens up a lot. There goes Duke, picking up a fingerprint. It is right in the middle of the screen. You better believe DOWSEY is noticing that. Guarding that Amba with the fin mostly blocking even on High Shark. Even when it's High Shark, that middle conversation, you still get buggable opportunities where that fin is blocking. There's the timer flirt. It's 85%. It's a white test, so we're going to slow things down just a little bit. Probably not going to be able to rush into anything, although it is still Aquarium. You can still get a lot done. And I want to keep an eye on when these bar highlights decay, because you have to manage them properly as sniper. Otherwise, the party gets out of control.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Pofke's timer flirting, or seemingly timer flirting here again. I would expect he'd go for another mission and just catch the seduction target later.
Yeah, when you green flirt the first one, it's tempting to go for the second and try to get seduce done in 45 seconds. But when you hit the white on the second, generally people give up on it. And that seems to be what's happening here. Yeah. Pofke's going to go towards this window in the corner.
Probably a corner time ad.
Let's see. Hasn't done it yet. Seduction cooldown.
Oh, I know what he did this against me in casual. He's gonna go with the shark, yeah.
Yep, and he is not visible at all. And there's a bug as well. It's a bug and the microfilm. He's still completely behind. The wheel was maybe briefly visible around the bug. We're on the other side, and he's seen rolling away from the bookshelf, but is basically hardly on screen at all at any point.
Absolutely beautiful. That's a very hot tech. Very great play by Pofke to utilize the shark to its fullest extent, get the bug and the direct transfer pretty much being off screen.
Yep, the bug is done, transfer's done, seduce is done. It's just a real BB for the win. That's all we need. We are not in with the real double agent. The real double agent is catering a briefcase around here. There we go. If they enter after this, I just don't see how DOWSEY can shoot for this unless he saw that roll away from the bookshelf. And it is really hard to match the shark that well. The wheel was visible at one point, but really only 1 point, and it was already a good distance from the bookshelf. That's about as good as you're going to see, and it's harder than it looks. We're going to go chase that double agent, I think rightly surmising. Look, this move's only going to work if you're not a suspect at all, so might as well bank on not being a suspect. Go to your BB, force a shot or win. We're in the mission win countdown. There's a low light. DOWSEY shows no interest in shooting Pofke. We're looking at our 6th win. 3, 2, 1. What a move from Pofke. And a spin, doing little donuts in the middle of the conversation, running over Sari's toes. Oh, boy.
What a play.
Yeah, what a play. What a play. I mean, look, a lot of people have tried to move with the shark. It is hard to do that well. It is really hard to do that well. You even have to have the right character for it because some are too fast for it or too slow for it. Pofke, just right. 6-3. And now DOWSEY needs 3 wins in a row just to force overtime. If they can't do it, the perfect Pofke will meet the perfect Rio in the finals. They have 3 chances to do it. DOWSEY as the spy. It's Duke again. 3, 2, 1, playing it. It is tournament point for one of the tournament's favorites, DOWSEY.
I suspect now that Pofke picked Wheels intentionally going into that spy round and knows that Wheels has a good speed, and especially with him setting up at that corner window waiting for the shark to come, I think he had planned on doing that before the round started.
To any nascent spies watching, do not just pick any character and then decide to do that in the middle of the game. You're going to want to have a sense of the speed. You're going to want to pick the right character and know you're going to do it going in. I think you're absolutely right that Pofke did exactly that, and it worked beautifully. Again, barely visible, just part of that wheel. If you weren't watching for it, you're not going to see it at all. It's just a clean mission win on Aquarium. DOWSEY, meanwhile, ends up right next to their seduction target in the middle conversation. It's a green test, just like the previous game, 51%. Top Shark going across. We're covered by the fin, but it doesn't matter. We're not trying to get up to anything. We're just going to wait and try to finish this flirt in 2 goes if we can. Plenty of statue visits early on. Party moving around quite a bit. Other than this full conversation in the center, people are spread all out.
Pretty active, and we're starting a pretty standard opening, going for a timer flirt. 85%, same as Pofke on the previous round there.
Different conversation, same result, but the XT does leave afterwards, which helps a little bit. So if I'm DOWSEY, I'm probably still going to want to go get this flirt done real quick and then not have to worry about it the rest of the game. Focus on the trickier stuff, certainly. Plus, the seduction target is in the same conversation as our double agent, and it's a full one, and it's full of highlights that we happen to know, although DOWSEY might not. Pretty tempting. There's a spot next to the seduction target. There's another spot now as Taft leaves. I'm not sure what's keeping us. This seems like a great opportunity to go get 2 missions done at a very opportune time, but DOWSEY still just sitting there. I'm a little surprised here. This does not fit his usual aggressive style, and the last time he did it, it worked beautifully.
He might be waiting for a shark bug, but again, probably spending too much time searching for it.
Yeah, that would have been the flirt done, it would have been the BB done, and it would have been a good time to BB. There were not that many people out of conversation. 3 roughly evenly filled conversations. That's about as good as it's going to get. I think that was a prime opportunity missed, and now there's less than 2 minutes left, and only the seduce is done because the seduction target did at least come back to us, but the double agent is still in that same conversation, and a few more people are out of conversation now. I think you've got to go get the second mission done and start thinking about how you're going to finish, because again, there is no more tomorrow. You need to win this game and the next 2 after it, and then some more on top of that just to stay alive, or your tournament is over. Amba does not come near us. DOWSEY heads over to the conversation as the double agent leaves. You might call it bad luck, but then that double agent was there for a minute and a half solid, and DOWSEY never went over until now, and now it's too late. They've had enough of it. Conversations are mostly full, but we've got no reason to be in this one. The seduce is done. We can't contact. What's it going to be? It's just going to be a fake. We're going to try to make something happen here. Try to get some kind of shot off. Try to frame somebody. But I don't think it's going to work because Pofke looks to be in very strong control of this party.
Yeah, fake BB here is going to indicate DOWSEY's trying to fish for a low light and then just ramp up the missions here in the last minute.
Yeah, and you can do that in the last minute, certainly. And there's a bug attempt as the Ambo walks by. Is that even seen? Are we just waiting? Are we waiting? Yes, we are. Shot in the back of the kneecap. Pofke goes to the finals in resounding fashion. 7-3. It's going to be Pofke Rio, and the Winter Cup champion will be perfect one way or another. What a win.
Wow, great games.
Great games indeed. So I have to ask you, are you as surprised as I am by this margin?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that Pofke won.
At all, let alone 7-3, yeah. You're saying. No offense to Pofke, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
yeah.
Pofke ran through everybody else. I mean, Lazy Bear, it wasn't, it was a pretty wide margin. I think Screw Loose, were you beaten as harshly as this by Pofke?
I actually don't remember.
All right, so I take that as a yes.
No, it's slightly better. It was 7-4. Yeah, Screw Loose lost to Pofke in the first knockout bracket round, 7-4. And by the way, tough opponent to draw in the first round there, Screw.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not surprised, but I did not expect a 7-3. I would have expected like a 7-5 or something closer.
Well, it's crazy because in the previous round, the quarterfinals, DOWSEY beat Ponoob 7-5, but the other three scores were 7-1, 7-2, 7-3, and now we get a 7-4 and a 7-3. So we really haven't had anyone win by the minimum except for one match in the quarterfinals, DOWSEY and Ponoob. All the others have been at least a little more lopsided than you'd expect, and some of them quite a bit. But these games can spiral out of control pretty quickly. 5-1 there ends up 7-3. It's just that early deficit that DOWSEY could not crawl out of.
All right, and so that is it. That sets up our final for hopefully next weekend. We got Pofke and Rio, and then DOWSEY and Opie will have to play for bronze.
Which is a third place of Summer Cup 2018 rematch, as Ryu pointed out in chat.
Oh,
That's
yeah, all right.
It doesn't matter what season. It doesn't matter what season it is. They just keep meeting this way.
Yeah, who won last year for the bronze?
I think it was Opie, if I remember right. I think it was because DOWSEY, normally when DOWSEY gets into these sort of consolation matches, even if there's a little something at stake, he tends to, let's just say, have a little fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, from what I saw, this match has been played already. Replays haven't been posted or anything like that, but you can see it in DOWSEY's stream.
Yes, if you would like to.
He played it basically immediately after his loss to Pofke. He just was like, I want to get this over with.
Oh, that's not good.
So that means that it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be entertaining, let's just say, yeah. And probably very likely to be entertaining. These two unstoppable forces meeting in the finals,
Yes.
Pofke and Ryu. Both.
Hopefully we can catch this one live.
Hopefully, yes. Both of these players, 7-0, absolutely have earned the right to be here. Neither really surprising, obviously among the better players in here, but also probably not the ones you would have chosen just on paper based on competitive experience. But you're not surprised they're there either. What's really surprising is the dominant way they've both gotten there. I, for one, can't wait to see it. Thank you, Kletos. Thank you, Screwloose. Thank you, everyone, for watching.